Unit 1 review, question number 29. Sophie recently ran a marathon. It took her 4.8 hours to run the 26.2 miles required to complete a marathon. Find her average speed in miles per hour. Then, convert her speed to feet per second. Hint: 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. Round your answers to 2 decimal places. So we have 2 answers that we're looking for, which is miles per hour and feet per second. I've gleaned a little bit of information and put it over here. We have 26.2 miles and hours is 4.8 hours. So the first thing we're going to do is translate this right here, miles per hour. Miles we can keep. Per means divide, and then hours is on the bottom, or hour. So we can come over here and use Excel to calculate by dividing the miles. So I do equals to calculate. I'm just going to cell reference the miles and divide it by the hours here. Press enter and we get 5.4, and then it says round to 2 decimal places, so the 8 will round up the 5 to a 6. And that gives us miles per hour, 5.46. Now the next part, we're going to have to do some conversions to find feet per second. The first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I have the correct units where I want them. So I have miles per hour. That means I want miles on top, or distance on top, per hour on the bottom, or time on the bottom. And make sure that that matches up with what I'm looking for as my answer, feet per second. That gives me feet, or distance, divided by seconds, which is time. So that matches as well. So we can do our 5.46, or we can take the same thing as 26.2 and 4.8. Either one works, but this one I can see that it goes out more decimal places, so I'm actually going to go back to the original so that I don't have a lot of rounding and that my feet per second is as accurate as possible. So I'm going to keep my 26.2 miles per 4.8 hours. The reason I'm doing that is if I were to round this to 5.46, you can see that some of this isn't as accurate because it continues on. And it can change some of my decimals. Alright, so then I'm going to multiply this by a unit conversion. Now the first thing I need to get rid of is, we could do miles or hours, either one. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of miles first, and because I have miles on top, to cancel that out, I need miles on the bottom. And I was told over here a conversion is 1 mile is 5,280 feet. So the conversion here will change from miles to feet. And I know that it said 5,280 feet was the same as 1 mile. And I can put a 1 there or leave it off. It doesn't matter, because 1 times whatever is whatever, right? Okay, so the next thing I want to do is get rid of the hours. Now if I have hour on the bottom, to get rid of that I need an hour on the top. So I'm going to put hour here. And I need to get it down to a smaller unit. I'm going to seconds. Now I don't have seconds memorized per hour, so I'm going to go from hours to minutes. Because I know very quickly off the top of my head that 1 hour is 60 minutes. Now I'm still not there all the way though. So I need to get rid of the minutes and replace it with seconds. Because I have minutes on the bottom, to cancel that out, I'm going to put minutes on the top. And I do know that there are 60 seconds in a minute. So I can put that here. 1 minute is the same as 60 seconds. And let's see, so let's check all of our units. I have miles on top and on bottom, so I can go ahead and cancel those out, both of them, because the miles cancel. Miles divided by miles. Nothing cancels the feet here, but I do have an hour on the bottom and 1 on the top, so I can cancel both of those out as well. Hour, and I'm going to just highlight both of those and cancel them out at the same time. Okay, and then next I have minutes on the bottom and minutes on the top, which means that they also cancel out or divide out, and I'm only left with feet and seconds, which is perfect because that's what the question was asking. It wants to know her speed in feet per second. So now to multiply fractions, I multiply all the numerators straight across and all the denominators straight across. There we go. And then we'll end up with our answer here in feet per second. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use Excel over here to get all of our calculations in. And I want to make sure that everything, oh, I can't drag that out. There we go. I want to make sure that all of the numerators stay on the top and all the denominators stay on the bottom. So to do that, I'm going to use some parentheses just to ensure all of that. So all of the numerators, 26.2 times 5,280, and I can times 1 times 1, but it'll give me the same thing. So I'm going to leave those off, 5,280, and close the parenthesis. Now that's all the numerators. Now I need the denominators. I have 4.8. 1, I can skip that. And I have 60 and 60. So we'll times 60 and times 60. And I have it all, so I'm going to close the parenthesis. I have all the numerators divided by all the denominators. Pressing enter will give me her feet per second. Oops. 8, and then it wants it rounded out 2 decimal places. So the 5 rounds up the 0 to a 1, so this ends up being 8.01 feet per second square, or 8.1 feet per second. And we'll come over here, 8.01, and we can move to the next one.